Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Morristown Township Board of Education. Called to order. This meeting is called in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act with adequate notice provided as follows. Notice filed with the Courier Post, July 1st, 2021. Notice filed with the Burlington County Times, July 1st, 2021. Can I please have a moment of silence? Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please, James.
Dr. Alberti.
Here.
Mr. Fairchild. Here. Mrs. Mullen. Dr. Snyder. Mr. Villanueva. Mr. Weeks.
Present.
Mr. Weinstein.
Present.
Ms. Romano. Mrs. Shaw.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. We already completed executive session. Routine matters. Minutes, approval of the minutes for the following meetings attached. September 18th, 2021 executive session, September 18th, 2021 special meeting, September 21st, 2021 executive session, September 21st, 2021 regular meeting. Those amendments that we discussed are going to be reflected in the 2021, September 21. October 19th, 2021 executive session, October 19th, 2021 regular meeting. Can I please have a motion? Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Any noes, abstentions? I'm going to abstain from September 21st. Okay. Okay, moving on. Anyone have any communications to share? No? Okay, great. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you to the whole school community for helping us continue to manage through these difficult times. Sometimes we always forget that we're still living in a pandemic, so everyone is still working super hard to comply with all the COVID protocols and procedures to keep everyone safe. There are lots of consequences of the pandemic, as we've been seeing: bus driver shortages, substitute shortages, mental health issues. So we really do appreciate the community support as we continue to live during these very stressful and challenging times. Our new superintendent, Mr. Volpe, will begin on December 20th. He will be visiting the district, starting to meet with some administration principals, walking through some of the buildings, I believe on Friday. So if you see him, please give him a warm Morristown welcome. In the new year, I'm sure he will be setting up meetings with staff and parents, community members, and a transition plan will be developed collaboratively with Dr. Fitz and the current administration on his arrival. And Dr. Fitz's, unfortunately, his last day will be December 17th. So this is Dr. Fitz's last regularly scheduled Board of Ed meeting. And as we transition from Dr. Fitz to Mr. Volpe, the board would like to extend a big thank you to Dr. Fitz for his leadership, his wisdom, calmness, healing. We brought you in to help the community heal, and I feel like you really have brought that to us. So we thank you so much. And you jumped into an interim role in July, raring to go. So really able to lead us into a smooth transition. So although your time was short here, your impact was great. And I hope you know that. And we wanted to just give you a little something from us individually to thank you for your time, your commitment and leadership to our district. And that was it. But thank you so much. He still will be here with us, but this is his last meeting. So we just wanted to recognize all that you've done for us. So thank you again. That's all that I have for tonight. So I will turn the floor over to you if you have anything to say, or in the superintendent's report.
Let me just get to my superintendent. But I do want to say that I have certainly enjoyed every day that I've been here, every evening, every meeting that I've had to attend. I've just enjoyed it. It's been a delightful experience. And let me just tell you what's been so delightful. It's when I go out into the schools and I see the children, that recharges me. I think of my first visit into the school, and one young lady over at the elementary school, she approached me and she said, are you an employee here? I said, yes. I said, how can I help you? She said, there's no paper in the bathroom. I said, thank you. I will take care of that immediately. I thought that was really insightful on her to take the risk to announce to me what was missing from her school. And I immediately got on it. But I also want to thank you as a group of parents who've been extremely patient and understanding as we had to work through so many challenges during this period of time. And I just want to say thanks to you guys. Continue to stay focused. I'd like to say to this board, this is a rock solid board. I like their committees. I like their structures. I like their availability that I can get to them as a superintendent, talk to the president, and she knows how to get her information out to her colleagues. I really like that. The staff is incredible. Some of that is going to be in my superintendent's report. So you're going to see a little redundancy here. This is an incredible staff, a bright staff, a knowledgeable staff, a very informed staff. Your kids are in a good position with the staff and with the leadership here. So they're safe and they're being taught well. Now, that doesn't mean we can't do better and we can't go to another level. You know, it's like, let's climb from about 27,000 feet to get to about 31. And then if we really got a good aircraft, we can get pretty close to about 39,000 feet and find some smooth air if we're doing an international trip. So I want to take these kids to the highest level where the air is smooth intellectually for them so they can grow and they can develop and they can address the issues that many of us will not finish. I want to see these kids harvest more of the natural resources, like harvest the wind, get more sunlight, harvest more of the sunlight and learn how to store it, and so that we can benefit from it. Learn how to grow great plants to feed the nation. Yeah, I want that. And this community is ready for it. There's nothing to stop you from pushing forward. There are a lot of intellectual properties in this community. Great intellectual properties. I was just telling one of the board members about the intellectual properties in this community. So you can be very helpful to us in addressing these issues that we are faced with. There's nothing Morristowners cannot overcome. Now, we might charge you a little bit more in your taxes, but you can lick anything that comes before you. Again, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to serve as the interim superintendent in the district. I appreciate it. All right, thank you. All right, now can I go to my speech for my report?
Yes.
Good, thank you. Yeah, because I write like, okay, well, let me get to my report for the superintendent. Yeah. I want to tell you that I'm ecstatic to see and observe the growth that our students and staff are making as we navigate through these uncharted waters. As we continue to move ahead, I'm observing the human spirit rising in students, in our faculty members, in our administrators, in our parents, and our community members. I'm feeling that. I wished all of you could have observed the high school activity that planned a wonderful event for the veterans of Morristown. It was a world-class event. I want to tell you that we are completing all of the required state enrollment forms, and our enrollment is up. I don't believe it's going to impact much on reassigning of classrooms or reassigning of staff, but it's increasing, not in big numbers, but gradually increasing. We're completing the required forms and all of the committees and all of the reports that are essential for a school district to continue its work. Our instructional committees are meeting and making recommendations to further strengthen our educational programs from kindergarten straight through high school. We are listening, we are observing, and we are participating in basically every Zoom meeting that we can get involved in that will help us to understand how we can keep our students and faculty safe during this Cavaris experience. We are engaged fully in all of our sports program in accordance with NJSIAA. And our kids are performing very well in the sports program. Let me tell you about the Cavaris update. It fluctuates. It goes up, comes down, but it never seems to level off to be able to say it's constant. So every day we live with change. But what we've attempted to do is to get the best communications out to you very timely with as much information that we are permitted to provide, because we have to protect confidentiality. We are in compliance with Executive Order 253. And I would like to thank our employees for becoming involved and carrying out all of the work that was necessary to put Executive Order 253 in place. So with that, I think that our school district is moving ahead, and we are preparing a royal welcome for the new superintendent.
Great. Thank you so much. Didn't we have a retirement recognition?
We do have a retirement recognition. Dr. Fitz, one thing I will say is I will sincerely miss your airplane analogies. They've been awesome through meetings. So we have one retirement recognition on the agenda tonight. Miss Nancy Gunteski, who has been a bus driver with the district for 20 years with our district alone. Her retirement date is November 1st, 2021. Miss Nancy Gunteski has been employed with the Morristown Township School District since 2001 as a bus driver. She has served our district and our students all the way from preschool through high school. She has been with us all the way through students' first day of school through to their senior year and even project graduation. She is a familiar face with project graduation, and we are going to try and maintain that if possible. We are grateful and appreciative of the care and kindness she has shown our students and our staff. We wish her well in her retirement and thank her again for her service. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Next up is our student board representatives. I guess, Claire, if you want to begin, and we will have seats for you up front next time. So sorry about that again.
It's all right. Thank you. All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Claire Hearn, and I'm the senior class liaison. And school is finally settling down after Spirit Week finished and after our successful Veterans Day assembly. However, the school is still buzzing with Thanksgiving break around the corner and the holidays not far away. Even though school is settling down, madrigals in the music department are hectic as ever. The madrigals gig season is starting on November 29th with the Morristown tree lighting. If you'd like a list of our performances and selective appearances, let me know. We unfortunately cannot do our typical district tour where we visit all the elementary schools and carol for the kids. It's my favorite part of the holiday season and being a madrigal, but thankfully I was able to do it my sophomore year. So it was a really great experience, and hopefully future madrigals can participate as well. The vocal winter concert will be on December 2nd. Our new chorus director has been drilling that date into our heads since the beginning of the school year. Miss Johnson took over for Mr. T at the beginning of the year, and it's felt like a family since. It's been, pretty weird, but she's implemented some new things. We go outside a lot to sing and experience like a more choiry feel than being socially distanced in the room with masks. And as a senior, I have to give an update on our senior trip. Another round of deposits was due last week, and our room assignment deposits are due in December. So there's an odd number of girls in my friend group. So I suggested we play a Survivor DIY kind of game to figure out who is rooming with who. But instead, we did find a really nice group of girls who we're going to spend the week with as well. So I'm really excited for that. And another thing looming over the upper classroom are AP exams. Our payment was due November 8th, and many of my more aloof friends found out on the 7th that they were due, but that has been flowing through school, causing some academic drama in certain circles, but I'm only taking 3 this year, taking it pretty light. That's coming up as well. And I'd also like to speak about the revisions of the high school dress code. I spoke on it a couple months ago. A student committee brought up some issues, and Mr. Seibel met with a staff committee and reviewed suggestions from the student committee, and they will all meet together soon to review the changes and finalize the draft. And I would like to thank Mr. Seibel and the administration for listening to the students and actually looking to make changes and listening to our thoughts and suggestions, and handing it off to our junior representative.
Hi, I'm Lucas McGill. I'm the junior representative. So last Thursday, our annual Veterans Day Assembly was a smashing success. We had veterans from all branches of service, live and in person, with all our students and staff tuning in. Although we couldn't have everybody in live attendance, the assembly was streamed live to all the classrooms, where the students could enjoy the assembly with their second period classes. Throughout the assembly, there were musical performances, including the national anthem with the madrigals and the band, and the Irish blessing with the madrigals. Claire and I, as madrigals, were able to sing for the veterans, which went extremely well. Each of our veterans were announced while a student council member read their military accomplishments and stations. I had the honor of announcing Raymond Kuklinka, a staff member at the high school, Father Matthew Pelikowski, and Lisa Walko. The names and accomplishments of those who couldn't attend for one reason or another were read as well. About halfway through the service, a speech was given by our keynote speaker, Matthew Pelikowski, who told us about his time in the military and the experiences of those he served with. At the conclusion of the assembly, the American flag was presented to Lisa Walko, veteran and retired MHS school nurse. Ms. Walko accepted the flag virtually because she was tuning in from home. All in all, we were very pleased with the fact that we could hold our assembly in a way that was safe and enjoyable for everybody. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bhavika. I'm the sophomore class liaison. And so the last time I was here, I talked a little bit about Spirit Week, which was a great success. And so all of the students in the sophomore class really had a fun time. We all dressed up. Actually, one student from the sophomore class for Holiday Wednesday came in a whole Santa outfit. It was really fun to see. And so not only did the staff make it fun, but this Spirit Week was truly amazing because for our sophomore class, we couldn't dress up last year. And the last Spirit Week that we actually did have was in 7th grade. And so it was a really refreshing experience and a return to normalcy. And I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of all of the students that we felt really unified, not only as a grade, but as a whole school. We came together and we did something as a whole, as a school. And that was an aspect that I and many other students really missed. And it was just really great to have back. And so that whole week culminated into the Friday Pep Rally, which was super fun. And all of the sophomores were really into it. We were cheering, booing the other teams. And the Twilight one was even more fun because by the end it was completely dark, which was a great experience. And the seniors actually did a really great job. We actually had to carry the flag through the senior parking lot. And Claire can attest to this. They were all dressed in black and this like clown makeup. It was intimidating, but a great experience. And so everyone had eye makeup on, they had bandanas, and it was super wild in a good way, of course. And I'm really looking forward to next year's pep rally. The juniors are really going to bring it on. And so yeah, Spirit Week was a great success. Another part of Spirit Week was also the food drive. And so now we're having Thanksgiving food drive take 2. The seniors are bringing in mixed fruit and yams. The juniors are bringing in green beans and corn. My class is bringing in peas and mixed veggies, and the freshmen can bring in gravy and boxed mashed potatoes. And so all of these food items will be used to create food baskets for local Morristown residents before Thanksgiving. And this is really all for a great cause, and these donations will be greatly appreciated by Morristown residents who will be receiving them. And so if you can, please do donate, and this was really appreciated during the holiday season. And with that, hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Yvette Wattal, and I'm the freshman class representative. I'm here to talk to you about the first Pep Rally and Spirit Week. This year, Pep Rally and Spirit Week were both very eventful. Every day of the week, we would wear our different theme clothes and go to school. They have something similar to this in the other schools in the district, but in the high school, there's more participation than I have ever seen before. Then came Pep Rally. This year was different because it was outside rather than inside, and some people were doubtful about how good it was going to be. But with the work of the advisors, teachers, and students, the Pep Rally was very fun. The student council members were standing near the fence and calling people down for the next event, and everyone else was getting excited and loud in the bleachers. Then there was the Twilight Rally. This was even more fun. Originally, I thought that not many people would come since it was after school, but almost the whole school showed up and everyone had a blast. All in all, Pep Rally was one of the best events I have been a part of in this district, and Spirit Week showed a lot of school pride from the students. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all our student representatives. We always appreciate you coming and your time. You're welcome to stay, or I know you probably have homework and other things to do. So you're welcome to stay or not. But thank you again for being here and the time that you spend and the reports you share with us. It's definitely the best part of the evening. Okay, great. On to board committee reports. We could start with Mark Snyder, curriculum.
Oh, I got it. All right. Hello. So the curriculum committee met on November 2nd. In attendance were Karen Benton, Sandra Alberti, Mick Weeks, Lauren Romano, myself, Dr. Fitz, Jeff Airy, and Kat D'Ambra. So the first thing we talked about was just sort of a general SEL and mental health update on the student and staff population, sort of how things are going. And we were looking at basically trying to get a good conversation about sort of the things that we're doing at a school by school level, and then sort of anecdotally how things are going. So, we spent some time obviously grounding it in the CASTLE framework, which is what all the different schools ground their social, emotional, and mental health sort of curricula around. At the K-3 level, specifically, they talked about, so the morning meeting is used as the sort of daily assessment of needs for students, so that the teachers can kind of pivot and sort of create space for the needs that they feel that their students are exhibiting that day, or a particular group of students. They've increased the number of push-ins, so whereas it might be 1 or 2 in previous years, now there's 2 to 3 push-in by the counselor or the nurse per month. So whereas, and those will be targeted for specific things based again on teacher feedback. And again, then each of the K-3 schools has their own set of activities, week of respect, things like that. The UES is using a new curriculum this year called Character Strong, which is being implemented in the extended homeroom that exists every day. The ultimate hope is that if successful, this program will be the sort of like flexed both down to the K-3 level, but also up to WAMs as well, depending on how this year goes. And so far it's been going well. That's what it sounds like. There are push-in assignments for that, push-in lessons for that in at least once per cycle, which again is, they've been playing around with sort of how to do that, and it's actually worked out. Then they've been able to do it more than they thought at the beginning of the year. So that was something that they were pretty excited about. WAMS obviously has a number of different things that, like Mindful Mondays, they talked about the 7 habits of highly effective teens. And again, sort of pivoting on students' needs specific to events that occur or whatever. And the high school held sessions for students during the non-testing windows. So a lot of the students were engaged in testing for a couple different things at the high school. So when students were engaged in testing, they had a number of programs available to them. Unfortunately, the 10th grade were kind of in the middle. So they're efforting how to sort of give that time to the 10th grade as well, because they had requirements at both testing windows where the other grades did not. And they're with the specific focus at the high school, again, is on the 9th grade kids who are transitioning into the school, and what they call the one-to-one check-ins for the 12th graders. Again, there's also the ad hoc SEL committees that are led by teachers. And one of the things that we were talking about was that they have student-led Google classrooms to afford students a sort of peer-to-peer environment to talk about things and to sort of get resources. As far as the staff is concerned, not surprisingly, anecdotally feeling very exhausted based on just sort of like the push-pull between the sort of, the pressure to sort of increase the pace, as well as the sort of needs of the students and the sort of mental health needs specifically of the students. The administration talked about how they're just trying to effort and support a very thoughtful pace to instruction, which we all agreed is obviously what we support as well, that not necessarily going faster. The next thing we talked about was the requirements for student name changes. And the administration is trying to figure out the logistics and the technological issues with changing names in one of our number of electronic systems, and keeping it confidential, but also supporting the student and supporting the student's family. They're working through solutions right now. The fall assessment overview, basically the Start Strong assessments, those results will be given to families in early December. The MAP assessment results were already shared with families. And the intent is at the next curriculum committee, we'll talk about the analysis and what the results might mean with the intent that presentation to the full board and the public at the December 21st board meeting for those particular, those sort of the general analysis of those two assessments. Obviously, there's an update being prepared for the new superintendent who is going to be starting within the interim. And then we just started talking about that there will be obviously curriculum writing needs, given this sort of CUSAC year of 23-24 needs to reflect the 2020 standards. Our last CUSAC had it reflect previous standards. So there are some sort of requirements in updating the curriculum for the 23-24 year. So to get out in front of that. And that was it.
Thank you. F&O met on the 8th of November. Had Mark McWeeks, Karen Shaw, Dr. Fitz, Carol Butler, James Heiser, Jeff Ferry, and Dave Tate. We went over the refunding that we closed on October 28th, where we had reported out last month that we had significant savings over the next several years from the reduction in interest rates. We then went into a discussion regarding the COVID testing site we have here at the campus for those employees who are choosing not to be vaccinated and comply with the testing requirements from the state. Everything's been going smoothly. It's been working well. And we've made some changes to try to add for better space and privacy for those staff members who are choosing to test. We talked about transportation. We were still and still will have probably throughout the rest for a little while longer some transportation issues regarding route cancellations. The last set was due to some of our drivers contracting COVID, which is going to happen. But we have been good. We've hired 2 new drivers, which is on the agenda for tonight, which is very helpful because as we have additional drivers come in, which we talked about last month as well, it'll help us be able to maintain additional to avoid those cancellations because we'll have more drivers available to cover others. Talked about various grants. One other thing, we also had the bus drivers forum started. So one of the other things that came out from the last month was last several months was Mr. Heiser sitting down with our bus drivers to talk to them about just the issues they're having in transportation and try to make a better relationship between what they do and what's going on in the business office, which is a good thing as well. Discuss several grants, school securities grant. We are scheduling projects. We just need to update some of the quotations we have because the money came out much later than we anticipated. So that is in process right now. We have ESSER 3 funding that we're looking at obtaining as well. That will be used for HVAC equipment and some other educational needs within the district. It's about $950,000 in grants. And we discussed the potential of a BPU program to make improvements at the administration building is what we're thinking about. BPU came out the program available to all schools in the state of New Jersey to utilize it for energy efficiency and energy savings. We might as well take that opportunity, use some relatively low cost funds to be able to reduce our operating expenses to help have the money available to do other things in education. And finally, we had a brief discussion regarding the budget calendar. And that'll be starting on December 13th. It's budget season again, everybody. Get your boots on. So that's the report. Thank you.
So policy met on November 2nd. Board members were Mr. Villanueva, Ms. Shaw, Ms. Romano, and myself. There are 2 policies and 1 regulation on tonight's agenda. For first reading, there is policy/regulation 5751, sexual harassment of students. There's no significant changes in this. This is just clarifying that this policy is for students and not intended for staff or adults. And then on the agenda for second reading is policy 2425, emergency virtual or remote instruction program. This requires the superintendent to annually submit to the Commissioner of Education a virtual or remote instruction program. Basically, we're required to be able to go virtual at essentially the flip of a switch. Anytime the school is closed for more than 3 consecutive school days due to declared state of emergency, public health emergency, or a directive by the appropriate health agency or officer. So it was a relatively brief meeting. You guys have any questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Jack. Oops, sorry about that. The Communications Committee met on October 27th. It was myself, Sandra Alberti, Mick Weeks, Lauren Romano, Dr. Fitz, Dr. Tate, and we had the guest Lori Perlow with us. As I mentioned in the last meeting, the board has contracted with Haddon Township Communication Consortium to provide communication services for our district, which they service many other districts as well that don't have in-house personnel to oversee this kind of a position. The board will start really with community surveys on communication, probably won't start until January. The Communication Consortium administrative contact will be Dr. Tate. So thank you for doing that. Basically in January, the plan is to announce the communication planning process at the Board of Education meeting. February, launch a communication survey. March, conducts internal and external focus groups regarding district communications, and April, release a communication survey data highlights along with draft communication action plan. It was recommended that the survey be conducted by SCOPE, which is School Communications Performance Evaluation. The cost is approximately $2,300. That's still to be determined, but that's what she had suggested. In the planning process, we are going to use our strategic plan. We have a communications goal, which is our third goal, that a lot of things haven't been met because due to the pandemic. But we really have mapped out a lot of the things that need to be done in terms of communication. So Lori is going to take that and work with that as well, since we've done so much work already in that area. And basically, she's also available to help us whether we need communications even in the next few months. But her main work will probably start in January. And that is all we discussed at the communications meeting. If anyone has questions. Nope. All right, Sandra, do you have ad hoc?
On October 26th, we had an ad hoc meeting of the committee exploring race and racism in Morristown. Present at the meeting was Lauren Romano, Karen Shaw, myself, Dr. Benton, Carol Butler, and Dr. Fitz. And we were kind of reflecting on how much work has been done, gathering all of the pieces of data that we already have and working forward. Our plan is to kind of put together both a timeline of the work that has been done, building on all of the community engagement forums we had last year, as well as the action plans each of the subcommittees did provide by the end of the year, kind of learning targets, long-term and near-term goals. And we wanted to put those together in order to inform what we hope to plan, which would be an equity audit once the new superintendent joins the district. And so we intend to present that publicly at a meeting and then to engage the community in further discussions about what those data points might be like so that we can move this work forward. We planned a working session to be able to present more information to you tonight, but at the last minute we had to cancel it, and that just teaches us we shouldn't plan those meetings like 2 days before the board meeting. There's no time to reschedule it before the board meeting, but we will have more information for you all at the next board meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. And we look forward to it. It's amazing how much work we actually did do, and that's what we have to compile and get ready. So I'm excited to go back to that work, which is great. And I did want to mention, as we begin to prepare for discussions with the MEA regarding contract, we have established a negotiating committee. Mark Snyder will chair. The other people on the committee will be Mick Weeks, Sandra Alberti, and Mark Villanueva. We won't have any formal meetings until December 1st, but I did just at least want to mention that. Next, I think anyone have off-board committee reports? Sure.
The Rec Advisory Committee, just want to let you know that they've had really great turnout this year for the basketball signups, and the school had to go through a lot of extra hoops this year to try to accommodate them based upon our other utilizations, as well as all the other things that we have going on in the district, that their additional needs really was good to see, but lot of extra work. So it's good, but we could probably use more gym space in the town, just so people know.
I just wanted to share an update from More Arts. A few things to mention. First, they agreed to sponsor what seems to be an exciting project. There are some students at the UES and a teacher that are going to work on a give back project where they create murals for all of the elementary schools. So they're going to fund that, and hopefully we'll see some exciting art come out of that. Also, please be on the lookout for student artwork that More Arts helps distribute around the town. There'll be a display at the library, as well as several businesses around town. Let's see. They also wanted to share that their gala will be in January 29th from 7:30 to 10:30. And so you should look for more information about that soon. So just a quick update from some things going on with More Arts, really great sponsors of art and all those things going on in our schools.
Great. Thanks, Mick. Any other reports? Nope. Okay. Now moving on to public comment. I would like to request a motion to open the floor for public comment. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. This public comment is only for agenda items only. As we move into public comment, please come up to the mic. Please state your name and address. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. As you know, this isn't necessarily a question and answer period. It's always best to follow up with an email. Please don't address board members individually, and please be respectful in your comments.
Good evening. My name is Maria Lanao. I'm here in representation of SAU 32 BJ workers to speak on agenda item related to upcoming approval of bills, specifically Exhibit 22-107. I'm here with Luis Orozco and Maritza Orozco, who are some of the workers that lost their job when the district new janitorial contract refused to hire them. Since then, we have met with you to discuss the issues regarding the staffing of the cleaning work, and we would have hoped to hear from you by now. However, the question is, we did not see any checks made to HCSG on
Excuse me.
Exhibit 22-107.
Excuse me, I do believe you're not on the bill list. That what you had just mentioned was not on the bill list.
I'm sorry. I'm talking about Exhibit 22-107, and it is on the agenda. If you go to item 4, it says approval of bills, Exhibit 22-107. So basically, my question is, or actually the comment would be, is the district seeking deduction payments to HCSG due to the understaffing of the cleaning staff that you have going on in the district right now? And also to encourage you to please get back to us regarding getting our workers back to work. Thank you.
Next.
Lisa Trapani. I'd like to also thank Dr. Fitz for his service. I speak on behalf of the entire MEA when I say it's clear that you value the schools, the staff, and our community. Otherwise, you would not have lived here for so long. We have felt your support over these last 5 extension of difficult times, months. We appreciate your time, your dedication, and your thoughtfulness. It has made a difference for the staff and the students.
So thank you, and please take some time for a vacation.
Claudine Morano, 425 Oldershaw Avenue. I do have a question, but I know it's a comment, but if you can, Dr. Snyder, I thought in your curriculum committee report, there was a couple of things you mentioned that were unclear, and I wasn't sure whether you're talking about staffing, finding challenges in their day-to-day operation of curriculum because of social emotional learning distractions, or, if you could flesh that out a little better, it'd be much helpful. And I don't know if it's part of the agenda, but I think the website for the COVID information, Dr. Tate, has been very helpful. Just wondering if there'll be an update to the vaccination rates on that chart. It hasn't been updated since October 18th. And thank you, Dr. Fitz.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't mind.
That's okay. We could do it offline. That's fine.
May I provide a comment?
Sure.
The website will be updated this week. Thank you.
Anyone else? A motion to close the floor. Thank you. Thank you. All in favor? Moving on to reports to the board, a business administrator, board secretary report. One, two, financial reports of board secretary, treasurer's report, approval of budget transfers, approval of bills. Can I have a motion to approve items 1 through 4?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Noes, abstentions?
I'm abstaining from item 4, please.
Okay, recommendations of the superintendent. A, policy and procedures, policies under first reading, policies under second reading. Can I please have a motion to approve items 1 and 2? Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Noes, abstentions? Okay, moving on to educational programs. 1, Burlington County Alternative School Placement 2021-2022. 2, Home Instruction 2021-22. Special Education Out of District Placement 2021-2022. Homeless Placements 2021-2022. Approval of items 1 through 4. Can I please have a motion?
So moved, David.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Any noes, abstentions? Moving on, finance and business. 1, travel expenditures, approval requests. 2, approval of state contract and consortium vendor purchases. 3, non-resident tuition students, 2021-22. 4, shared services, joint share agreement for transportation services to and from school. 5, 2021-2022 Special Olympics play unified grant application. 6, cancellation of outstanding checks. 7, teacher evaluation system annual adoption. 8, principal evaluation system annual adoption. 9, termination of contractor agreement. Can I please have a motion to approve items 1 through 9? Thank you. Second. Thanks. Any questions, comments?
If I may. Quickly, I'll just say that we've been involved with the Special Olympics now for approximately, I think, 5 years now. Supposed to be masked. And it's just been an absolute amazing experience for the students, all students, teachers, everyone. So we've just really enjoyed our relationship with them. And with this grant, I think we received $5,000 more than we had last year. So we'll do some more programming. So I'm super excited about it. Thank you.
Great. Yes, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No abstentions? Noes or abstentions? Moving on to employee relations. 1, appointments. 2, change of position hours. 3, movement on guide salary adjustments. 4 leave of absence, 5 resignation, 6 retirement, 7 termination, 8 curriculum, 9 substitutes, 10 athletics co-curricular clubs, 11 licensure, 12 referral signing bonus, 13 administrative leave. Can I please have a motion to approve these items? Thank you. Second. Thanks. Questions, comments? I think we need roll call. Richard.
Dr. Alberti. Mr. Fairchild. Mrs. Mullen. Dr. Snyder. Mr. Villanueva. Mr. Weeks. Mr. Weinstein.
Yes.
Ms. Romano. Mrs. Shaw.
Yes.
Thank you.
Moving on to A, suspensions, B, Superintendent's HIB report. Can I please have a motion to recommend the board approve the following HIB cases as discussed in executive session?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any noes, abstentions? Next is informational only. Enrollment numbers. B, old business. Anyone, any old business? No. Any new business to discuss? No. Okay, we are ready to open the floor again for public comment. If you please want to come to the mic, state your name and address. And you have 3 minutes to speak. I'm sorry, motion. Second, okay, all in favor? Aye. Anyone? I guess not. Motion to close public comment? Oh.
Couldn't resist. Claudia Leone, 425 Aldershot Avenue. Comment, just something to take into advisement. I think with any kind of organization, you know, when someone leaves, retires or voluntarily leaves, having an exit interview is usually standard. And I don't know if the board has exit interviews for when you leave your positions. And it would be great to have feedback of those exiting, to share, you know, what your concerns have been or what you think we do well or what we need improvement on. I think that would be helpful if it's not done, as well as an exit interview with Dr. Fitz.
Thank you. Anyone else? Motion to close public comment? Thanks. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone.